BIP of Bizarre Interest Productions, and honestly, talking about only shipping on Women's History Month is certainly a choice, but one thing you can't argue is that it can be pretty fun. Just imagining and thinking about characters from a franchise you would like to see interact can be pretty fun, especially if they're in a romantic pairing. Like I said before in the last video, this is all in just good fun, and this time I got a few non-straight pairings for this one. Plus, given that we're talking about characters crossing over, I think this would be pretty fun. I'm typing this on March 22nd, so I don't know when people are going to see this. Oh god, it's been a week. But I think this would be a fun topic. Plus, as thanks to getting me over 800 views on a video last time I talked about this Beyblade and shipping, I'm genuinely grateful. So we're upping it from 10 couples to 20 couples this time. I won't go overboard and explain why, so let's get started. If you made it this far into the video, type Unity in the comments below because we are going to be starting off with... My first couple is Joshua from Verse and Uni from X. I think the reason why this is obvious: Joshua is a famous movie star, pompous, well-meaning at times, but arrogant and loves to show off and be flashy in his battles. Meanwhile, you have Uni, who's a popular influencer who loves flashy fights and entertaining the crowd with her fighting style. Though Joshua is a defense blader, both have a fighting style about switching from defense to offense with a dangerous attack that's just hard to beat. Plus, it'd be really fun to have these two bounce off each other given how dynamic they can be in battle. Plus, even for the people who don't like Joshua and the people who don't like Uni, who I ignore, just imagine having fun with all the outfits Uni could put him into and how he'd actually love it, really compared to how Toguro feels. The next is Jinga and Julia. If you respond to me with "you clearly put these two together because they both own Pegasus Beyblades," you are correct. So here's a question: if you were to give Jinga an element, would you consider it light or wind? Regardless, I think that these two would get along well. Jinga loves to battle, and Julia spends most of her spare time perfecting Beyblading techniques. She's more battle-inclined than her brother, and he'd respect the heck out of her blader spirit given her high level of determination. Plus, who wouldn't want to see a Gemini Pegasus attack between the two of them in battle? You know, as a tag team. The third couple is Chao Jin and Ilya. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I wasn't sure I was going to do this video, and then I was scouring Twitter to see if other people had shipped characters from different seasons. And I came across a Beyblade fan who shipped this. Also glad there's more women in this space, who I will link their bios to follow them. And honestly, I can't blame them. The dynamic actually writes itself. Chao Jin is a womanizer learning to take Beyblade seriously given his potential and skills, and Ilya is fun and playful but no nonsense and takes battle so seriously she's willing to play mind games for her opponents even before the battle begins. Damn, these two dating or being on a team together would be really fun because Ilya would just be putting him in his place or messing with him numerous times, or preventing him from flirting with anyone else by flirting with him. Plus, in battle, I can totally see her using him or planning out a strategy he finds too complex, but goes along with it because he genuinely respects her, or uses him to blindside their opponents without his knowledge. They would eventually end up on the same wavelength, and I kind of dig the idea of being a couple now. My fourth couple is Tyson and Tenka, and I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. It's entirely because both of them are rooted in samurai lore. Tyson doesn't care that much, but he has been willing to use it in terms of training and helping him do better in battles. Meanwhile, Tenka's dedicated to her teachings and knowledge. Plus, Tyson's type is tsundere's, and while Tenka's arrogant, she is willing to have a soft spot for people she respects, since even she believes Multi will return despite how hard she's treated her, and she's pretty sympathetic towards people with questionable parenting. Plus, Tyson would give her a fight for his life, and I could see these two having a fun sword clash on and off the field. Plus, if they ever go out on a date, these two would just be super competitive against one another, and that would just be really funny to read or watch. My fifth couple is Meiko and Ryo. I don't want to hear anyone making the argument that Jinga has a mom because until birth, almost every pro tag's mother was either dead, absent, or unexplained. And I'm not saying Ryo is a bad father either because people like to conveniently leave out the fact he was badly hurt and needed the time to heal and still tried to help his child from the shadows. Not that he can relax, and if he wants to remarry, I could see Meiko being a great option. Meiko's also retired, but she's got a strong base spirit, is a great support member to kids, and would be an older and more experienced Hikaru, especially since she could play the straight man to Ryo's antics. Plus, Ryo would love and respect her for her blading spirit continuing to fall for her persona, which I respect. My sixth couple is Pri and Teru. Originally, I had Pri and Tsubasa here on this list, but thinking about it now, Teru and Pri would actually get along really well. They primarily use stamina blades, they're pretty respectful and disciplined, and both have a love for dance. Teru was a ballet performer until a stage light fell on his ankle and forced him to retire early, but thanks to a dancer handing him a Beyblade, or Virgo, he was able to adapt his skills into the battle, like given his dance-like fighting style. Meanwhile, Pri also incorporates dance moves in her blading style, with the profile noting that she's a talented dancer, and Quadra is basically her stage name name if you see blading as her performance. Plus, her brother was injured and she's being used to carrying on his legacy. I actually think these two would have an interesting connection about their injuries and insecurities wouldn't stop them or their brother from pursuing their passions, just in different ways, and feel empowered by the people that inspired them. Also, a Bay battle where Teru uses his pirouette tour special for Virgo to hit the opponent in the air, for Priest Pandora to strike down with Lightning Crush just kind of writes itself. My seventh couple is Pot and Karuta. Especially since they're both short, but Bird and Karuta probably wouldn't work out given how much their personalities clash. But Karuta falling for Pot would actually work out pretty well. Pot loves pranks, so if he was trying to do all her ridiculous stunts to get his attention or interact with him, not only would it give them a chance for him to spark an amusement to enjoy life again, but it also find out a challenge for them to try and prank her back. It's basically a relationship where two of them want to interact with the other for different reasons, but still end up getting the same outcome regardless. Plus, a Pegasus Blader dating a Phoenix Blader ironically goes pretty hard. And something people have actually shipped in other generations now that I think about it. My eighth couple is Belle and Emily. This one is purely on aesthetic vibes because you have the first protagonist that is equally both intelligent while also being a massive troll to the system. Meanwhile, you also have Emily who has the intelligence but is more driven to prove it. They're both good people at heart with an ego that needs deflated, but I could actually see that polishing them to work together to polish their skills and make a pretty banger of a Beyblade. I could also see Bellio making fun of him if he did develop a crush on her, which would honestly be kind of adorable. My ninth couple is Shigeru and Mingming. I know putting Mingming with Joshua or Uni was probably the more expected out of the two outcomes, but I generally think there's something to be had about these two. They're both seen as oddballs, with one being slow-minded at time and the other being an idol singer people don't take seriously and end up regretting it in the ring, but I think these two could still find some solid ground. Shigeru is basically the only sane person on her team at this point, and Mingming never likes how people underestimate her because of her status and generally likes to prove to people that she's skilled. So I can see the two finding each other's oddities rather charming. After all, Shigeru has done model shoots before, so she'd be used to Ming's spotlight, and Mingming would probably like the fact that Shigeru is so strong. It's also pretty interesting because one has a Beyblade gimmick where she can handle any situation, while the other switches personalities in order to do battle. Interestingly, I don't think Shigeru would even notice the fact that Mingming uses singing to mess with her opponent's mind, because I don't even think Mingming notices she even does that, or that Shigeru would care. My 10th couple is Kira and Brooklyn. I just need these two to just hug and go on a play date. Day dates? Whatever. They were both bullied for being too strong and having no one that respected them at a young age, resulting in them struggling to properly express themselves until they came across the protagonist who actively tried to reach out to them, and now ended the series with people that actually have their back. Plus, Kira's the leader of his own team now, while Garland's probably helping Brooklyn get therapy to acclimate better to society. So who knows? One day these two may be well enough to find a friend who needs them, or wants them. My 11th couple is Garland and Sophie. Now, people have pointed out that the comparisons between Garland and Julian, but yes, Garland gets carried away with his family principles, but he does have a respect for honor, and I don't think he goes to the lengths Julian did when he lost everything. And given he's probably the most rational and compassionate member of the Justice Five, while Sophie's the most approachable of Excalibur next to Klaus, I can see these two being a solid couple. Two European-focused bladers with principles and codes not afraid to remind their loved ones to maintain their code of conduct will get along really well. Kite and Naoki. I'm surprised I don't see people talk about these two. They're both scientists who want to study as much data as possible to improve their Beyblade talents, have some questionable social skills, have some deep layers with Kite's concern for his brother, and Naoki's loneliness and feeling alienated for his intelligence. These two are each other's best friends they secretly need but never realized they had. Also in a battle, I need to see an image of Neptune's avatar riding at Leviathan's avatar into battle for a joint special move. Tell me that wouldn't be cool. My 13th couple is Omega and Doji. They're both sociopathic leaders of their own organization, manipulating and using young adults to achieve their ambitions and goals. Like cult leaders. Well, we don't know if Omega's responsible for what's going on in the underground, but let's not pretend that she's not involved in some way. Also, I want to see what her reaction would be to Doji's cactus appreciation. Also, Doji molded the boy with the Forbidden Dragon theme Bey. Omega flat out gay the Forbidden Dragon theme Beyblade. Yeah, I kind of need these two together. 14th couple is Ren and Phenomenal. This is more for Phenomenal's character since the dude just wants to be taken seriously as a blader. Rashad put this man in a deep depression and Ren hates when people underestimate her. With his guidance and her positivity, these two Phoenix Bladers can be the fire in each other's lives. Especially since Ren didn't get a synchron partner, but that's an argument to be had for another video. My 15th couple is Hikaru from Burst and Multi. Out of the smart Beyblade protagonists that actually have a high level of maturity, and that number immediately drops down to Pri and Hikaru. Hikaru and Multi would actually be a pretty cool match. Again, Hikaru is intelligent, kind, well-meaning, but occasionally lacks confidence since he's seen as less power-oriented than his brother. In a sense, he's like Bird and Amane, but more strategic-focused. Meanwhile, Moti's teammates range from Bird being sane but inexperienced, Exu being experienced and mentally chaotic, Tenka intentionally poking her guts to force her to evolve. So if she can date another protagonist, Hikaru matches her wavelength. They both mature, sane, care about their loved ones, are underestimated, and Moti would give Hikaru the confidence and reassurance, while Moti would give him the respect and teamwork he's wanted. They'd be great on and off the field, especially since Hikaru would value Moti's skill and a Baymaker and a Beyblader. My 16th couple is Vault and Masamune. It'd be so cliche to put Masamune up with Drum, Daichi, Cisco, or Tenka. Wait, I should write those down for next time. Either way, but I think him and Vault will get along great. They're both academically challenged but talented, yet still believe in hard work. Both had unorthodox training methods. Both have horse-themed Beyblades. Like, all we need for Masamune is him being a mentor to younger blader, and we're set. My 17th couple is Jack and Blind. I feel like this one writes itself. They're both passionate artists who see Bay battles as a masterpiece for their own creation, joining the antagonists to seek out their mission, and have a rivalry with the more antagonistic, draconic, demonic rival Blader of the season. Plus, Jack calmed down, while Blind's were really shown to just be willing to prove his passions, so they're clearly not bad people at all, and I just want these two soulmates to make as much fun, hopefully harmless, art as possible. My 18th couple is Gwen and Madoka. It's crazy how I didn't put Kenny on this list anywhere, but, I mean, Gwen always wanted someone to appreciate his genius and Bay talent. Madoka likes a guy who's both emotionally intelligent and scientifically intelligent. They could work on creating and improving Beyblades together, while Madoka helps him be more adjusted to making friends. And I think that's pretty sweet. And come to comments mad that I didn't put Kenny and Madoka together. I promise I'll do another one in the future. My 19th couple is CeeLo and Ryu. This wasn't originally on the list, and then I double-checked Ryu's bio, and now I'm asking myself, why the heck isn't she and CeeLo a thing? He's a vampire cosplayer who is a great person, but just needs a bit more social tact. Meanwhile, she is so bad at being a butler that the only thing she's good at is her love for the Okla and Beyblade, which would actually make these a match made in Hades if it was designed for people under the age of 20 and was a fun horror amusement park. My 20th couple is Bird and Hikaru from the Metal Saga. Jokes about them having terrible win-loss records aside, one thing I think these two both have in common is that they have a lot of expectations placed on them, and while they have faced pressure by both bullies and people antagonizing them, they've also had the support of many friends who continue to believe in them and support them no matter how many times they fell. As a couple, these two would be sweet. Bird is just really good at respecting women, so that like most of the men who claim to be really good to women are. And given that he sees the best in everyone, he could even try to help Hikaru out with her trauma. Meanwhile, Hikaru would have a closer friend that she could talk to outside of battling, especially since Bird has helped out with kids before, and given that she's got a bit more experience, would actually make a great rival and friend to train with. I can see the vision, but that's just me. Okay, well, that's it for this video, and yeah, just wanted to have a lot of fun with this one, especially given how serious I was with the Hikaru video. Again, being one of the few people who actually likes all the series instead of just hating them or comparing them against one another can be really annoying, so I'm glad to just have fun whenever you cross over all the characters from different sagas together. Let me know which ships you like, which ones you don't, which ones you think I should have included, or if I should do a follow-up, and BIP of Bizarre Interest Productions, signing off.